Hey everybody, Dr. Judas here at ApolloHealth. Now it gets a little more fun. We're going to be talking still in the biochemistry part of the matrix here, biochemistry here, that lower part right there. And we're going to be talking about inflammatory or anti-inflammatory supplements. So a lot of people know some of these. Maybe you're taking them, maybe you're not, maybe you're underdosing them, or maybe you're taking products that are great, maybe you're taking products that are bad from Amazon and such. So we're gonna just run through this here. So there's different types of inflammation, and I don't wanna get too deep in this, I don't wanna confuse everybody. But the first type is fatty acid driven, meaning we have different types of fatty acids. So we'll just talk about essential fatty acids. You have omega-3s and omega-6s. I know there's other kinds, we'll talk about them later in more advanced modules. But omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, if you go back in human history when they've been able to test out old samples that they found from humans, modern day anatomical humans, but let's say thousands of years ago, they found out what they ate, their diet was about 1-to-1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6s. And as you might know, vegetable oils and such are inflammatory omega-6s. Some of them are essential, but we tend to get too many of them these days in modern worlds. And it's not uncommon to have a modern human have a ratio of 1 omega-3 to 40 omega-6, and that's very inflammatory. And that, you can't just take fish oil and think we're gonna fix it. The diet needs to be fixed, so please refer to that video. Okay, you can do a test on that. There's a blood spot test that you can do. It's a finger prick, or you can do it through serum as well if you get blood drawn. And they'll measure your ratio to see if you have too much inflammatory acids, like arachidonic acid or omega-6s or whatever in your body. So omega-3, so assuming we've got the diet down pat already, we're gonna start taking omega-3 to start skewing our ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. A therapeutic dose is 3 grams. Some people need to go higher than that. Sometimes you need to go to 4, 6, or even more grams per day. That is also a pretty well-established weight loss strategy as well. So that's omega-3, and I tend to use omega-3 SE. For some people I'll use krill oil as well. Krill, that's what I use. It's just pretty expensive, so some people don't want to do it. Which is, again, it's a marine source, so if you're vegetarian or vegan, you're likely not going to use those, but you can get flax or hemp seed oil, for example, which are technically not ready to use, has different number of carbons than this. So we can discuss that if you have that specific question. So then the second one we have is magnesium. A lot of your cellular functions in your body require magnesium, and especially for muscle relaxation and contraction, you need magnesium. So calcium will make a muscle contract and magnesium will make it relax. That's an oversimplification, but that's basically what happens. So there's different types of magnesium, yes. And sometimes we need manganese if somebody's got loose joints. We tend to get a lot of people in here who have like hypermobility or loose joints, or they have some version of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or something like that, where we're gonna need to add in some other minerals like manganese. But oftentimes I'll use LuRong for that. So LuRong is a great product made by Supreme, which we use a lot of. It's basically, again, this is also not a vegan product because it's made from the antlers of elks. Some companies use deer. This one's from elks, and this is all veg caps. There's no other stuff in it. So LuRong is going to give you naturally occurring glucosamine and chondroitin, right? Which you can get it from the shellfish version, but those are a lot more highly processed and refined. Again, are they effective? Probably, but this is just going to be a lot cleaner product. There's also a lot of data on LuRong also having some of those trace minerals, so the hypermobile people are going to do well with LuRong. It also will help raise testosterone. So if you are a D1 athlete or in the Olympics and one of those crews, you can't use this product because it's banned in NCAA sports, and I believe in the Olympic sports still, because it can increase testosterone a little bit. Important to note. All right, another product from Supreme, Cissus Supreme, also known as wing tree vine stem. And this is great for people who also have joint inflammation or arthritis. It's great for reducing inflammatory chemicals in our body. Then we've got turmeric. I didn't bring that out because often we use a refrigerated version. Everybody knows about turmeric. This is so we're now talking about different types of inflammation. We're not talking about omega-3, omega-6 ratio. We're talking about cell-mediated inflammation, okay? So that it's more cell-driven and it's going to be driven down by things like turmeric and resveratrol and glutathione, okay? And I don't use resveratrol too much. I use Japanese knotweed because it gives a high amount of resveratrol. Most people think you get it from grapes, which you can, but it's higher concentrated in Japanese knotweed. It's an invasive species here, but it's a great source of resveratrol. Turmeric as well, it tends to absorb better when it's liposomal, meaning they bind that turmeric to fat molecules, so it gets into the cell a lot better, because it's well known that turmeric does not absorb well in the gut. Talk a little bit about glutathione. So now we're still talking about cell-mediated inflammation. People who have autoimmune diseases and such, and chronic infections and things of this nature, taking exogenous glutathione, it should be liposomal as well, is going to be anti-inflammatory. And just a wild card here, vitamin C is necessary for collagen repair. So especially in early phase, right? Somebody gets a new injury, right? You're, whether it's a football player, tennis people, whatever, you need vitamin C as well as protein and amino acids for that initial phase of repair. So that's super important right in the beginning.